pump should keep on, and it did. So that's good. But up here we've got a condensate clog, and so this is the fun part of getting these deals clean. We need to clean out the float, the condensate pump, clean out all this stuff, clean out the drain lines, and just make sure that the drain line is right here, the black thing, is clear. Basically from that drain line with the wet dry vacuum, because that's what's clogged there. And then we'll reinsert the tube back into our condensate pump, and we'll be all back to normal. Pretty simple. Anyway, get it all going. Lots of fun here. Condensate pumps, you need to service these once in a while, clean out all the gunk. And a good idea to drop a condensate tablet into the tank also. Keep everything going clear, going good. That's the story on condensate pumps. I would, whenever possible, go with gravity working system instead of a condensate pump. Sometimes you run in a situation where you've got to do what you got to do. Okay, so I got some condensate tablets, and I got my wet dry vacuum. Just going to be plugging my wet dry vacuum in up here, and then going to vacuum from that black line, drain line that I was telling you about. And that goes into the condensate drain right here. I showed you our test button where we were able to turn it on to prove that our pump was working when the float floats up high enough. So now I'm going to pull the black hose out, and we're going to vacuum that hose out. That's our drain line, and that's what's causing up our stoppage back here. Now we've got a vent back here that isn't very visible. We may need to cover that vent as we vacuum out the drain line. But really right here is where we should see the water go down. So that's our main concern. Here comes some noise. I'm going to slip my wet dry vacuum deal over the pipe, and then seal off the rest of it with my hand. So here it goes. Sorry for the poor light considerations here. I'm just going to get it done. Okay, you can hear it coming from the vent, but not really from our drain line. And so now what I'm going to need to do is make a rig basically to seal off that vent line. So I'm just taking an old piece of a laminated paper here that I have, using that over the vent, and back to the same thing of sealing off with my hand and vacuuming with the vacuum. Nice. Now you can hear it draining from the drain. That's exactly what we want there. We heard it clear from the drain line. We're good to go. It's just a lot of cleanup here now, but that's the story on the condensate pump and the drain line, and determining where your clog is actually coming from. This one's in the pan, so I'm going to clear all that out, detail it out, detail clean inside there, and get this puppy top out. This has a vent cover that goes over the test bucket, so I'm putting that all back together just to make everything work safer. Put it in the drain back into the tube line, and also going to add a couple of these tablets inside the float. Keep the condensate pan nice and clear. Back from our deal, back into the fill line, condensate pump. Gravity's going to do the rest, and then the pump will kick in once it fills with